Harun, welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on a brand new episode of NewsX India A-List. Today we're going to be joined by filmmaker Nila Madhab Panda, Decoding Dynamics managing partner Mayank Singh, and mentor, entrepreneur and changemaker Chiranjeev Patel, who will all be sharing their perspectives on their latest projects and endeavors. Let's begin with an exclusive interview with renowned filmmaker Nila Madhab Panda. He's speaking about his latest project, The Jengaburu Curse, India's first climate fiction thriller web series.
Making his OTT debut with India's first climate fiction thriller.
India's first sci-fi thriller web series, or cli-fi as you like to call it.
Cinemas, we don't portray that, it has to be beyond drama, beyond Shakespeare's love story,
A versatile filmmaker.
What made you write it and how the response has been since you recently launched it, in fact, in Delhi itself?
How in just these 3 to 4 decades, the world has almost changed. It's like a leapfrog movement,
NewsX India A-List proudly recognizes Nila Madhab Panda for excellence in filmmaking.
Harun, welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with filmmaker Nila Madhab Panda. Nila Madhab Panda, firstly, welcome to NewsX. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So your new project is all set to stream on Sony Live. Tell us a bit more about it. You're, I believe, touting it to be India's first sci-fi thriller web series, or cli-fi as you like to call it.
Yeah, I think that's the word which has been catching the fire, and it's all about firing, because the series is more about human greed, in the sense human greed comes in many forms, and because of that greed, every morning you wake up today from Delhi to Junagadh to there is flood, there is drought, there is grain crisis, extreme weather conditions. So I felt it's pretty disturbing, and somewhere in our cinemas we don't portray that. It has to be beyond drama, beyond Shakespeare's love story. So this is a very serious story which I brought. And why we're saying cli-fi is because, tragedy, love story, drama, now this has to be a genre, because that's how you tell the story. I mean, what are the stories? What's happening around you are the stories you try to make, okay? Whether it was corruption with police or corruption in political system or whatever, now I feel this is the time we speak out these stories, which are very important. And I feel this is a very important story to tell at this point of time. So this is based on human greed, how human greed turns into curse, and what we're suffering today is we can terminate a term as curse.
Is that how the title was coined?
Yes. So we say that Jengaburu curse. So this curse can be anywhere. It could be Mumbai curse. It could be Thailand curse. Because you see, there are scientists who have been warning to saying that by 2050, these are the cities going to be submerged underwater. What is it? It is simple. Slightest range of temperature, high in temperature, sea level rise happens, and there are cities going to be submerged. So what is this? That's how we say we are cursed. We are cursed for our own deed. And interestingly, I try to show that in a very dramatic thriller. So you're going to enjoy it, but at the same time, you kind of face what we are doing to this world. And I think stories are the best way to tell the world how we are, what condition we are in.
Yes, and this has been a topic close to your heart, isn't it? For those of you who followed the viewers and citizens of the country who followed your work and your life, climate change is something you have been campaigning for quite a while, isn't it, Nila Madhab Panda? But do you believe people have still not taken it seriously, despite what we're seeing around us? The floods, the weird weather, not just in India but world over.
Well, indeed, I mean, I would say I'm simply coming and telling you the story, more than campaign or anything. But end of the day, if you talk about climate change, I've been talking since 2005. My first documentary was called Climate's First Orphan, which was on sea level rise.
Mhm.
But the basic issue is whenever we talk about climate change, environment, it becomes like a bookish topic. We say it might be happening somewhere else, but not with me. But it's here. It's affecting all of us. And I think that's how I thought that this is a very interesting story, which I had been doing research for years. Of course, it took a long time, 3 years. And it's
Mhm.
quite a saga. It's like a 7 episode thriller, which from the teaser itself, we can see that's very dramatic, set in India and UK. And also, in a way, it's the first time you're going to see the real
Yes.
tribal indigenous people, natives, Our films doesn't really show that. Generally, when you show tribal, they become ulala. So this is
Yeah.
real people, yet very dramatic because end of the day, people like drama, people like a little bit of thriller.
Mm.
So all the contents are there, but end of the day, the story says how greed turns into curse is the
Okay.
Jangapuru curse.
Okay. Let's also now just talk a bit about your memoir. You recently released it. It's called Return to Innocence. Tell us a bit about it. What made you write it, and how the response has been since you recently launched it, in fact, in Delhi itself.
Yeah, I mean that book I was writing for a good number of years. I thought I had a very quick short span of career and in a short span, like in 4 decades, I felt
Mhm.
I'd seen a lot to this world. Coming from a
Yes.
humble village to a globetrotter and traveling around the world. I thought it's the best time. So memoir was not about. I'm not that old to write a biography or a memoirs,
Yeah.
but what was important for the book is how in just these 3 to 4 decades the world has almost changed. It's like a leapfrog movement. World has changed drastically. Economy, globalization, digital world has changed us so much that human emotions, human relationships, not relationship with man to man,
Mm.
or the human relationship, but human relationship to the nature. Like a
Hmm.
simpler example, my Baba, my father's eldest brother, for him
Hmm.
the biggest love was trees, river, and everything. Today, it's only their materials.
Yes.
They do not belong to your love story.
Yeah.
So how this transformation happened in just 3 decades, and we changed so much that today suddenly you feel the crisis. Go back 30
Hmm.
years, 30 years down the line. We never felt that air could be polluted. We never felt
Hmm.
that the virus could kill us. We never felt that pollution could kill us.
Yes.
So suddenly what happened? It means we want so much of luxury, we become so fast growing, we did not realize the consequences.
Hmm. True. Absolutely. Which is why Return to Innocence, of course, perhaps another reason why you coined that title uh, for
Yeah,
the
I
book.
felt we should go back to that thought at least. I think that
Yeah.
basic innocence is so important for human to grow well as what they call it typically development world sustainable development that you sustain. People are going to grow, population is going to grow, but let's try and understand the energy is limited, resources are
Okay.
limited. Is that's not growing every day.
Okay. Also, we see a constant in your projects. This connect to Odisha. The Odisha factor in all your projects, including in the Jengabura case, of course, the new project of yours. Uh, why is that your passion for Odisha, your love for your home state, or just the fact that you want to put it in your project so more people discover different facets of the state?
Well, I think as a state, because it's in the corner of the east, and Bengal was always a dominating state to Odisha. The more identity about east was Bengal. It's not the identity issue even, but I thought there's not much of stories. So the world has been
Mm.
spoken about my state in mainstream cinemas or TV or anywhere. So I thought being an artist, and also what happens as an artist, you feel your own soul what you speak. It's not the deliberate effort at times, but I know more stories about my state than anywhere else. So
Mm.
when I'm doing a national OTT show or a film, I would like to go back and portray some of the characters, culture, world, beauty from my state because I've seen that beauty, which is incredible. And moreover, the world would like to see new beauty, new culture. So my state has full of that. And that's how I try to bring back all the story and join with my state, with its culture, people, colors.
Okay. My final question to you, Nila Madhab Panda. Our show NewsX A-List highlights achievers, of course, from all walks of life in India who've excelled in their fields. What's one piece of advice you'd like to give people who are inspired by you and who want to get into films and filmmaking?
Well, I think it's time. I mean, it's a beautiful world also we are growing today. That digital world makes us everything easier. So the time I started film, it was very difficult. You have to
Hmm.
put money, you have to get equipment, da 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 da. Today you can make a phone you can make a film sitting at home.
Hmm.
So I think one of the most interesting thing for cinema is whatever story you are convinced about, you write and make it happen when you believe
Okay.
it. And for that, you need perseverance. I should never look at cinema is something you should never look at money, price, or anything. Just make it happen. That's the easiest way to say. And it is actually very easy to do today.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Nila Madhab Panda, and all the very best to you for the Jengapura Curse, which of course is streaming this August on Sony Live.